The Monster Below by Greenback, read by Deathlight, Chapter 22, Surgery. 5 minutes ago, I ran into the control panel and prayed the designers had made it as idiot-proof as possible. To my relief, it was. All the buttons and controls were labeled. A press of one button caused massive crystals inside the machine to power up. A display came to life and showed an absurd array of programs to choose from. There was a bang outside the amphitheater. Coin counter and dozens of guards were working to get past the locked gates. At the rate they were hitting it with magic, it wouldn't take long. Running to the amphitheater's control panel, I hit several buttons to activate the lockdown procedure. Designed to be used when a patient was carrying an unknown disease, toxin, or parasite. Heavy doors slammed down across the exits, operation windows, and air vents. 5 inches of steel and airtight plexiglass separated me from the idiots trying to deny me what was rightfully mine. Tossing off my saddlebags, I went to the control panel and searched through the surgical procedures until I finally found what I was looking for: wing and horn transplants. The first was to be expected, but the latter was a surprise. Medicom had apparently expected to eventually get horns, and I created a program for when that eventually happened. I was going to be the first test subject. I was sweating when I entered the commands for the wings first, and then the horn. I shook as I entered the code for the local anesthesia. The general was out of the question. I had to get it immediately after the procedure was done. I selected the option for maximum strength steroids and symbiotic fluid. And as I placed the wings and horn inside the machine's designed chambers, I could feel my heart slamming against my ribs. This was it. All those years of effort were finally about to come to fruition. All I had to endure was 5 minutes of surgery. Just 5 short minutes. The guards were still attacking the doors as I pressed the start button and got onto the table, settling into the design grooves. Cuffs came out of the table and closed around my limbs, securing me in place. I gulped and closed my eyes as the needle came down and injected the anesthesia. Then the table flipped, the back panel opening, giving the medical arms access to my shoulders. A miniature buzzsaw whirled to life. I closed my eyes, focusing on my breathing as I felt pressure upon my upper back, and the feeling of skin being sliced open and peeled backwards. Wet and heavy wing muscles came down on each shoulder blade, following by ice-cold goop. That's bigger symbiotic fluid, designed to let lab-grown muscles attach themselves to naturally grown tissue. With the muscles in place, rapid-fire needles attached everything to my bones, going with speed and precision that only magic could provide. At last, my skin was moved back into place and sewn shut. There was so much joy at feeling the wings drape across my back. I wanted to flop them so badly, but I didn't. They had to settle and secure themselves, at least they ripped themselves away once again. The first set of doors were blown open as Coin Counter ran inside, only to find his path blocked by the second set of doors. I could barely hear him shout, but whether it was at me or to the guards, I didn't know. And I didn't care. As the last stitches were attached, the table rotated itself so I was on my back. I breathed deeply, giddy with excitement. I was halfway there. That's when I first noticed the pain. Confused, I wondered how the anesthesia could wear out so fast. Twisting my head, I looked to the various windows that allowed me to see the various chemicals and liquids inside the machine. One large bottle caught my eye. I recognized it from the other surgeries I witnessed. For it was the bottle that contained anesthesia. And in what may have been the most horrifying moment of my life, I recognized that, in my mad dash to activate the machine, I had failed to check how much anesthesia was inside. I had used the last of it to attach the wings. It had set unfolded and pressed itself against my skull. Thick screws tightened themselves into position to keep my head from moving. Above me, medical arms attached themselves, getting the correct instruments and equipment attached. Additional cuffs slid out, locking themselves around me so I was immobilized. At that point I was still in shock, which quickly gave way to the realization I was about to undergo surgery without anesthesia. I tried to find the emergency shut-off switch, but it was mounted near the control panel, meant for whoever was controlling the machine. There was no way for me to stop it. The program kicked in, and the needles began their descent. I breathed deeply, trying to convince myself I was brave. I had to focus on the end result, not the process. Just keep thinking about that horn, keep visualizing it in my head. Keep thinking of that and I will get through. Just a few minutes of agonizing pain and my dream would finally come true. The needles continued down. I closed my eyes and visualized myself leaping from the table with the horn and seeing Elva Equestria clapping for me in awe of my achievement. Even the princesses were there, congratulating me for such a good job. Princess Celestia in particular put a hoof under my chin, smiling as she told me how proud she was. A machine whine focused me back to reality. I opened my eyes to see the needles just above my head. I'm not afraid, I told myself, sweating more than I ever had my whole life. I'm not afraid. But even as I encouraged myself, something occurred to me. It's been said that when you're about to die, your life flashes before you. The good and bad alike are shown, and nothing is hidden. Like so many other ponies, I dismissed it as wishful thinking. Nothing more than a literary device for books and movies. But as the needles descended towards my forehead, I had a sudden moment of clarity. There had been previous operations to transfer horns from one unicorn to another. But out of hundreds of attempts, less than a handful had succeeded. The majority ended with traumatic blood loss, nerve damage, and irreversible damage to the brain. Half of the surgeries ended with the patient's death, which is why they were so rare. And now I was about to undergo a procedure twice as complicated and twice as risky, and would involve getting a horn onto an earth pony, something that had never been done before. My odds of getting through the surgery alive or undamaged was practically non-existent. Any bravado I had built vanished as I realized I probably wasn't going to survive. The cuffs around my limbs held me in place as the machine arm descended, the needles glinting in the glare of light above the table. I had to be brave, to be defiant in the face of pain, to deny panic and not let it take control. But before panic came fear, and that fear momentarily took hold. I instinctively bucked, but the cuffs were too strong to break. I couldn't even move my head, for the braces screwed into it kept me completely immobile. It had to, lest the machine make a mistake and destroy my brain. I couldn't run away, I couldn't call for help, for there was nothing anyone could do. I couldn't do anything but watch as the needles got closer, closer, ever closer. And then they hit. The thick needles went through my skin. The white-hot pain made me shriek as the blood trickled down my face, forcing me to blink to keep it out of my eyes. It helped distract me from the horrible sensation of sharp metal piercing my muscle, bone, and the soft, squishy tissue beneath. I bit down, squeezing my eyes shut as the plungers came down with a soft hiss. I pumped a chemical cocktail into my brain. There was no pain, but there was a thick goop swirling around under my skull, moving, spreading, and growing. Then the needles were yanked free, blood flowed, mixed with sweat. The pain was awful, but the fear was worse, because I knew what was coming next. The needles retracted and the metal arms moved away. In its place, a new arm came down. At the tip was a huge drill, especially designed to cut through bone. The blades glinted as the drill came to life, giving a high-pitched squeal of a dentist drill, but only louder. There was no anesthesia, no drugs to numb the pain that was coming. I sweated, shook, I tried to hold back my fear, and failed.
Oh, Celestia, please not that!
I thought, any ideas of glory or fulfilling my dream was gone. I don't want this. Make it stop. Make it stop! Blind panic took over. Rational thought and logic was replaced with animal instincts. And my body thrashed, adrenaline giving my limbs and muscles increased strength. The screws on the cuffs creaked as every muscle in my body thrusted to their limits, then past them as I fought to get away, but it wasn't enough. The cuffs were too strong, and the braces were screwed in too tightly. I squeezed my eyes shut, not wanting to watch. Like a child hoping a monster couldn't get you if you hid under the covers of your warm bed. But all the darkness in the world couldn't protect me as the drill finally hit and began to cut. The blade was in no hurry to finish its job. I couldn't hold it back any longer. I screamed as my skin was sliced away, revealing the muscle and flesh below, and then the white of my skull. I screamed as blood gushed from my skull and cut on my face before pouring onto the table. There were no thoughts, no pleas, no desire to escape. There was only pain. I heard Corncounter screaming at the guards to get inside, even as he tried firing spell after spell at the door. But it's for naught, not even magic could get through the barriers. Nothing could save me from the drill that finally finished cutting. Pausing for only to pair pincers to yank out a chunk of my skull and drop it to the table, where it bounced off and hit the floor before the drill continued backwards. That was the breaking point. My body and soul couldn't take it anymore. I was losing too much blood and the pain was overwhelming. My brain shutting down, no longer wanting to bear witness to the nightmare. Things went dark, sound faded away. The pain dimmed, but I could still feel the blood. The weakness and the sensation of fading away into nothingness. The realization hit me, this was it. And through the fear, and before oblivion, a single thought broke through. How did it come to this? That was a moment ago, and now I've learned that the stories were true. You do see your life flashing before your eyes as you die. All of it, both the good and bad, and I just finished. There was nothing left, nothing but oblivion for me, and a single sliver connecting me to life, but I didn't know how long it will hold, and I didn't want it to. It was so clear to me now, I thought I could do it. I thought I could get a horn. I sacrificed so much to get it, but I've gotten nothing in return. Nothing but pain and suffering, a cycle that repeats over and over no matter what I do. And if I live, what awaits me, even if I survive the surgery? I'll have to face the legal consequences of trying to get the horn and wings, which will lead to ruin, bankruptcy, and prison time. I will come out a broken pony with nothing left, abandoned by all, and with my beloved wings and horn taken from me. I will live the rest of my life knowing that I achieved my dream, only to see it taken from me. My entire purpose, my only reason for living, will be for nothing. Death sounds better. Death is closing in. I can feel the darkness taking me, embracing me like a warm blanket that will keep me safe. There'll be no more pain, no more struggling, no more misery or suffering. Only endless, dreamless rest. And in the light of the alternative, I wanted nothing more than to surrender to it and fall away forever. I feel myself drifting away from life. Part of me wanted to go, but part of me wanted to stay. But why? Everyone will keep talking of me, of my dreams that will never be. They'll berate me, put me down, call me evil. And if I die, they'll see what they did to me. I'm fading away. I didn't try to stop myself. Let them suffer. Let them all weep and realize the magnitude of their folly and stupidity. It was because of them that my dreams were never to be. Dreams. Wait. This isn't right. It can't end like this. It can't. It's not fair. How many other ponies follow their dreams, only to give up and quit? I didn't. Even when I expected failure, I didn't give up. Is this to be my reward for all my effort? Oblivion? No, it's not fair. It's not fair. It couldn't end like this. Not after everything I sacrificed. It can't. I'm not going to die here. I'm not gonna let it end like this. Not here, not now. I blinked, and I was back in the auditorium. I'm soaked with blood, and my nerves are frayed, but I'm alive. I can still feel the pain, and it's terrible beyond anything I've ever endured. But I didn't care, even as the drill continued to cut into me. Come on! I yelled at the machine. Come on! The drill finally cuts through and retracts, leaving a hole for blood to pour out. Above, a mechanical arm descends, the horn held within its grasp. The beautiful horn is pressed through the hole and into my goop-covered brain. Sensors scan the gap between the horn and my skull, and determine that there is a gap that must be filled. A liquid is poured on, and a small nozzle fires a concentrated blast of heat to harden it. It feels like my head is on fire, and I roared in defiance. Do it! I screamed. The goo hardens, and more is spread atop to create a smooth, seamless bond between the horn and my skull. That too is hardened. I feel the steroid-infused, symbiotic goop bonding the horn to my brain. building new tissues and nerves, bringing forth the searing pain of birth.
Do it!
A final jolt of pain slammed through my skull and I screamed. Something hot shoots from my head and hits the fire sensors. With a bang, the sparks go off and the water pours down, dousing me and everything in the room. Everything goes silent. The drill retracts, as do the needles and the arms. Motors whir and the table tilts forward, displaying me to the ponies behind the door. Through the blood in my eyes, I see them freeze. Even Coin Counter has stopped, barely able to believe what he was seeing. The screws upon my head loosen, and the headset retracts. The cuffs around my body release themselves. I slide off the table and collapse to the floor. The pool of blood drains off and slides down my back as I lay upon the tiles. I'm so tired. Oh, sweet Celestia, I'm so tired. I didn't want to get up. I wanted to sleep. There's a feeling from my back. I can feel my wings. They stretched out on the floor beside me. Water sliding off the wings, and my head. There's an unfamiliar heaviness there. I open my eyes. Everything's fuzzy and hard to see. I struggled to rise, fighting every inch, until I stood upon my front legs. Water washing the last of the blood away, like rain in early spring. I show up to the closest mirror. I have to see them. I have to see for myself if it worked. Wiping the water from my eyes, I see myself in the mirror. I look as exhausted as I feel. I shouldn't even be standing after what happened. But in the reflection, I see a pair of wings upon my back, and a horn lying upon my head. I stare at my reflection. I giggle. I start to laugh. I did it. I actually did it. All the years of struggling, all the pain, fear, and misery are instantly forgotten as I finally had my dream come true. I'm an alicorn. I laughed and all fatigue vanished as I leaped back. It worked! It worked! It worked! It worked! Oh Celestia, I wanted to dance and sing and jump and shout for joy, and show the world what I've become. And I will, the whole world waits for me outside. The only question is, how do I get out of here? The place is still sealed shut, but an alicorn would be barricaded inside of her room. Will Princess Celestia allow herself to be trapped by mere doors? Never! I had no idea how to shoot magic. But from what I remember, during my research trips to the library, unicorns have to concentrate on what they want and focus their willpower to achieve it. I imagined a blast of energy coming from my horn. It was so much harder than I imagined. I have to focus all my thoughts towards making a magical blast, seeing it grow stronger in my mind's eye. When I think it's strong enough, I let it go, and a blast of vibrant green energy shoots out and hits the wall, leaving a dent. I jump and climb my hooves into light. It's not much, but it's a result of magic, my magic. Sending out another blast, the dent begins to crack. Then, I hold the magic for almost a minute before letting go, releasing a massive blast that blows away the entire wall. I ran to the resulting hole and looked to the city below. Even as the rain fell, a large crowd was gathered below. Apparently, word of what was really happening must have spread, for there were a few photographers flying about. They darted towards the hole, and even through the glow of the building's light, I can see they recognized me. Unable to believe what they were seeing, I stood on my hind legs, spread my wings, and gave the biggest smile of my life as I posed for them. It takes them a moment to realize they've been given a photo opportunity of a lifetime. It's not photo after photo, but as gratifying as it was to pose for them, I have far too many things to do besides hang around there. Ducking back inside, I grabbed my saddlebags and strapped them on. Looking back to the guards and coin counter, I grinned and waved. I didn't have any animosity towards any of them. How could I, after what's happened? I flexed my wings. They felt strong enough to support my weight. With a sprint, I leaped through the hole, catched the wind, and flew. There was a jolt of pain, but hey, I could handle that. I soared above Manhattan, whooping and screaming, letting the world hear my joy, letting them feel my bliss. My dream, at long last, had finally came true.